Picture too. I've got other pictures that make me look like I weigh 110. Just depending upon the light and the camera angle and those kinds of things. So I would strongly recommend, if you want to get good photos, take lots. It's the one, and try different angles and different kinds of shots. Yes?
I think the reason why you probably look fat in that picture is because it's the line. The line is wider. Like that collar is very wide, and
the jacket bells out.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
Sure.
But we actually have other shots of this costume where it doesn't look 300 pounds.
So it's just one of those weird things. But the one thing I do want to stress is, take lots of pictures.
And the advantage with digital now is you can take 150 pictures and only keep the 3 that turned out well and erase the rest. And then take more.
Before anyone sees them. Okay, so let's talk about body shape. Okay, next one. Okay, for guys, we're going to start talking about guys, and we're going to go over some of the main issues. Who here is under the age of 12? Anybody under the age of 15? Okay, just checking. Wanted to know if this needed to be a PG or a PG-13 or whatever, so we'll see what we get. Okay, so the first issue, guys, you want to look like a girl. You want to make your costume so that you're going to look female. The first thing that you may need to consider is tucking.
Oh, great.
Now, I will tell you, there are certainly a significant number of costumes where this is not an issue. Okay? However, there are a lot of costumes where if you're not doing this, don't even bother trying to get the rest of the stuff to work. Unless you're going for shock value, and I don't want to know. So, I'm not going to go into any real specifics, except that you can probably guess by the word what it means and what you do. One of the challenges, believe it or not, there are people who crossplay. There are drag queens who are professional, and the technique that they use involves duct tape. I am not one of those people. Yes?
There's a really good tutorial on how to do that, and it's really serious about Crossplay on Cosplay.com.
Yes. We're going to talk about, and you'll hear me refer to Cosplay.com a lot. If you are interested in Crossplay, there you go to Cosplay. How many of you all have been to Cosplay.com? Okay, wonderful place to go. I'm Tania Kelly on there after my Vulcan character, so you may see me on there on occasion. There is a forum called Crossplay, and in that forum for Crossplay, they have and include stickies on tucking and the other things that we're going to talk about today. So for girls and guys both, and you're right, they're wonderful. There are people have examples, tutorials. There's some wonderful things on there, and some of the people you're looking at, you're going, no way. Both male, female, and female, male. Okay, so do I need to say any more about tucking?
No.
Kind of reminds me, and I confess, and I apologize, kind of reminds me of my health teacher in high school. He said, we're going through the systems of the body, and he said, today we're going to be talking about the reproductive system. Does anybody need me to explain it to you? I didn't think so. Let's go on. His comfort level was worse than ours. Okay, next. Now, the next thing to talk about is padding the hips and butt. The reason is because, now, ladies, how many of you all know at least one guy that has a really nice butt? How many of you guys know guys who have no butt? Guys, how many of you have no butt? Okay, just all right. We have some honest people here. Now, the problem is there are a couple things going on here. And again, the obvious thought that you might have is, well, I don't have that nice curvy derriere that I need. And so you can go to Fredericks of Hollywood or one of many places like that, and you can buy derriere padded panties. Okay? And they give you that rounded bubble butt. Okay? But the problem is, that's not the only issue for going from guy to girl. Because what you have is, the issue is that women have a much more proportional shoulder to hip ratio. Whereas guys tend to have shoulder hips, women tend to, most often, the common look is to have shoulder and hips match. Now, and we'll talk a little bit about how to go the other way, from women to men in just a moment. But the issue for men is, so you really need to have something on the side. I knew that I had pretty much worked out the right, that it worked. When I was talking to a friend at a costume, and at a thing, and I turned around and she goes, you know, you really do look like a girl from the back. Well, about this much of this on either side is padded. Now there's a variety of ways you can do it. Most of the stuff I have, I will tell you, is high-end. It was not cheap, and I got it because, you know, if you're going to go and try to fool about 2,000 people at a convention, you better have the good stuff to make it work. So over the years, I've managed to get some top line stuff, but there are ways that you can also do it. There is a website called ClassicCurves.com that makes hip pads that are a panty kind of thing that goes from here to here, that have built-in pads to fill you out both on the sides and in the back. Now, or what a lot of times people have done is they will simply cut foam in kind of a little mountain shape, foam rubber, and then just slide it in and let the, I know of drag queens who use this method, and simply then slide it in under the pantyhose keeps it in place, and it gives you the hips. You can use anything that's going to help give you that rounded look on the side to help balance your shoulders and your hips. Questions? Does that make sense? Okay, and then the third thing is breasts. Most costumes, if you're going to try to go male to female, are going to require boobs of some kind.
Usually the hefty ones.
Well, usually the hefty ones. That's true. We're talking about anime, aren't we?
Yes.
Now, there are a variety of ways you can do it, and again, it depends on what you want to do realistically. First of all, there's a guy who's done several costumes, including Felicia, and he uses big foam pads, and they stick out, and he doesn't care, and it doesn't matter if anybody sees him because he's doing it for fun anyway, so he has these big pads sticking out. Well, he's not really going for the realism thing, so that's fine. I have gone one. You can purchase, these are actually, that are used for mastectomy patients, women who've lost breast to breast cancer, and these are actually silicone breast forms. Much cheaper, you can get, these are actually weighted to give them some heft. These are D cups, okay guys, you don't know what one looks like by itself. Double D. So you have this as an option if you want to do this kind of thing. And then you can even go to Walgreens and you can get little breast enhancers, perhaps, if that's what you want to do. Also, ladies, these work really well and they're not that expensive. I'm wearing currently one of the cushioned ones. These run about 20 bucks. It's not weighted, it's a size smaller, and then I have enhanced them. Now, if you are wearing something that's going to cover your entire chest area, then it doesn't matter if they stick out. If you're wearing something low cut, if you want to go for cleavage, then you need to make sure that you adjust the size so that what your costume can cover it. Again, if you're going to go for realism. If you want to, if you're the do-it-yourself type, this is not one you're going to see on, I don't know, maybe this should be on the Complete Makeover show, I don't know. If you're a do-it-yourself type, there are a couple of options. Some people like water balloons. Water balloons are really nice. They can be the size you want. They have good heft to them, but woe be he or she who punctures one. And, you're leaking, and it just can be awkward.
People use pudding in those.
Pudding also can work really well. Again, if it leaks, you're going to have a mess, but it again has the weight and the right size. Another one that's kind of innovative, and you can find this at Cosplay.com also, is to take a pantyhose and birdseed or rice. Pantyhose and birdseed or rice. You fill up the bottom of the hose, well, cut the pantyhose into, fill up the bottom of it, tie the knot goes in front. And it's got the heft and basically the right shape for that. So that would be a do-it-yourself option that can work fairly well. And again, if you're wearing something that's going to cover completely, there's a lot of options. A couple things to remember, they don't go up here. Guys, they don't go up here. And you want to make sure that you are